Domo! Today I'm here to bring you an anime review on Ninja Slayer from Animation. I'm really liking Nancy. I'm really liking Nancy as a character. I mean, the way she just comes in out of nowhere in the middle of this episode and she shoots that dude in the fucking back, just pulls out a gun. She, like, holds this gun with one hand. She's like, pew, pew. I'm like, what the fuck? It's just, like, she holds this gun in one hand. She has her hand like this. She's like, pew, pew. I'm like, who the hell holds a gun like that? The way she held the gun like that, it would break your fucking wrist. I mean, if it's a certain type of gun. So, I mean, damn. Okay, so, this episode of Ninja Slayer. For one thing, it seems like Ninja Slayer is starting to make some form of allies. Like, as we know, Nancy is with him, and she's going to probably be his traveling companion throughout the rest of the series, which is very obvious since she's in the opening song. But before I get into that, what we have going on in this episode makes me assume that Ninja Slayer is setting up some form of alliances. Like, I don't think he's purposely doing that, of course, but with the dudes at the end of this episode that Ninja Slayer and Nancy fights, they leave. They just leave. They just get up and leave, and they say they're not really a part of the organization anymore. They're just leaving, they gotta grab one more dude down below, and then they're leaving. And so, these guys don't really have any beef with Ninja Slayer at all. Like, there's no reason Ninja Slayer should really try to kill them, if you think about it. So, I feel like these guys that were introduced in this episode of Ninja Slayer is probably going to come back to help out Ninja Slayer when the series is getting to its conclusion. Because we do know the final fight probably of the series is going to be when Ninja Slayer versus Dark Ninja. That's very obvious. That's going to be like one of the final fights of the series. And I'm assuming that these dudes that were introduced in this episode are probably going to come around and probably help out Ninja Slayer in some form or way in the near future. Now, besides that, what we also have going on in this episode is where there's clone mafia cops. And that kind of explains why all the mafia look the same. That's very subtle, Trigger. I see what you did there. You're trying to explain why you used the copy and paste format of the character designs of the mafia, you know, the fodder mafia. Come to find out they were all clones, and Nancy wants to destroy the clones, and so does Ninja Slayer. They use this virus. They could, I guess, corrupt the genetic code of the clones, and pretty much they're wrecked at the end of the episode. So that right there, the army of the organization's kind of been destroyed to where they could sneak inside of the cop force and, you know, police force and stuff like that. So moving past that point, Nancy, it seems like she's starting to have some form of trust issues with Ninja Slayer. It personally seems like to me like she's still trying to understand if she trusts Ninja Slayer, because in the episode, like the final face she made once Ninja Slayer walked off, she gave this type of face to where she doesn't really trust him completely. And so I wonder in the end, like there's probably going to be a scene, I'm assuming, there's probably going to be a scene to where she betrays Ninja Slayer for something, and then she's probably going to come around and try to save him. I'm assuming something like that's also going to happen. So overall, the episode of Ninja Slayer, same as always. Very, very similar to same as always. You know, I mean, if you like Ninja Slayer, you're gonna love it. And then, of course, if you hate Ninja Slayer, you're gonna fucking hate this episode. That is very obvious. I mean, not many people like this series, which is very understandable. I mean, it's definitely not for everyone. This series is definitely not for everyone. It would annoy the piss out of anyone. Like, it would. I mean, if you were to walk into this series not expecting something like this from Trigger. So, yeah, it's kind of understandable. So anyways, that's my thoughts. That's my review of Ninja Slayer from Animation this week. You all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.